What's going on, guys? Welcome to another one of Black Iron's battles. Today we have a Total War Warhammer 2 Mortal Empires 1 versus 1 quick battle for you. And we finally got them back, guys. We've got the Greenskins. So, I don't know if you guys have, not seen me in Warhammer 1. The Greenskins are always kind of my favorite race. So, if you look over here, we've got my favorite legendary lord. We've got Grimgor Ironhide, and he just looks so cool. With his double-bladed axe, and he is just fearless. He is the best. So I mean, he is just with 450 weapon strength. He's got armor piercing. He's got 110 armor. He is just an overall beast. Besides that, you'll see we do have two groups of goblin spears on the edges. In the front, we've got three groups of orc biggins. Those orc biggins, they have a pretty good weapon strength, although they don't have anti-large. They'll be able to do some pretty good damage against those Saurus and against some of those larger dinosaur units. Over here on the left, you'll see we do have the Ragnarok Queen. That is that regiment of renown. She'll be able to summon her spiderlings, and that'll be really good to have against to kind of tie down some of these large units. Over here on the right, you'll see we've got a goblin big boss on a spider. And he's a good duelist. He'll be able to do some poison. Besides that, we have got a Night Goblin Shaman, and we've got Gorkle Fixit as well as Itchy Noosus, just to kind of AoE debuff weapon damage or speed. Besides that, we do have the Rusty Arrows here to do the armor sundering attacks, and we've got those two groups of Goblin Archers just to be cheap kind of arrow fodder. In the back, you'll see we've got two groups of Black Orcs. Those are those armor piercing. They're elite orc infantry. Those are just big bad. They're pretty much the baddest infantry the orcs have, and or the Greenskins have, sorry. And here in the back, we've got these warlords boys. Those are those regiment of renown night goblins. They also apply armor sundering, just like the rusty arrows do. Over here for the Lizardmen, you'll see he's got a skink priest with beasts, and he's also got a skink chief up here, both on pterodons. So he is going to be able to be kind of flying around doing pretty heavy damage. You see there, if you look at the spells, he does have Flock of Doom. So he will be just kind of trying to, oh, then there it goes. He's using it right off the bat there. He's using Flock of Doom. He is going to be just taking me, this huge grouped up clump that I have. That's going to be a problem. Besides that, besides those two Pterodon units, he does have a bunch of Saurus Warriors here with shields. So if you look, he's got 5 groups of Saurus Warriors with shields. So not very imaginative, but those will do the job. 52 weapon strength. They've got great attack and defense. They've only got 60 armor, but the biggins and them will probably trade pretty evenly. But the Black Orcs will be able to kind of cut them right down. Here in the back, you'll see he does have a ton of dinosaurs. So he's got Kroq-Gar up here on Grimlock. That is just that super awesome Carnosaur. Besides that, he does have an Ancient Stegadon over here. Look at those skinks on the back, those skink skirmishers. Look at those mounted blow dart guns. Those are super awesome. Besides that, he does have 3 Feral Bastiodons. So those Feral Bastiodons, unlike their expensive counterparts, they still have 140 armor, but they will go rampage pretty easily. So you got to be a little bit careful with those, but I mean, overall, he's just got a ton of big dinosaurs, and it's just going to be a hard thing without any dedicated halberd units for me to go to. We don't really have any anti-large, but we'll go ahead and go head to head with this Ragnarok Queen, and we'll see what we can do. Oh, so right off the bat there, like I was saying, you'll see we've got, oh man, Flock of Doom everywhere. That is the flock. They are all over the place. Oh man, and look at just the amount of health damage. Now, though it doesn't take out any models, it drains the health pretty heavily. Here in the front line, you'll see that we are kind of walking forward, and we're going to charge in there and do a little bit of damage with the Ragnarok Spider Queen. So all over the battle, we're just going to engage. And the biggins charging into the Saurus Warriors. If you look here, the goblins took a pretty heavy hit, but we're actually not doing too bad. Over here on the right, you'll see that Kroq-Gar has singled out this Goblin Big Boss, and since the Goblin Big Boss is not going to be able to stand up to Kroq-Gar for very long, but luckily he is a duelist, so he will kind of keep him poisoned, and hopefully he'll distract him for long enough for us to win this battle in the middle. Here on the back, you'll see that this Bastiodon, he has cold-blooded on him, which is kind of trying to heal him, but he's also just getting blasted by my my Goblin firing squad. Over here on the right, you'll see that that one group of goblins on the flank is actually routed away, but it has given time for us to kind of break the middle here. Those black orcs coming through really did take out that group of Saurus warriors with shields, and this other group over here is against the black orcs is also rampaging, and they're having some trouble. So the goblin big boss, though, it looks like that he already lost the fight. You see the goblins on both flanks have already routed off, but we've still got a great strong core here right in the middle, and which is getting hit with another big flock of doom. So that's something I always should be wary of. I was not doing that well this game, but luckily for me, I am continuing to race these spiderlings, and we're just gonna start bogging down these Pharaoh Bastiladon. So over here on the left, you'll see that we're gonna get the goblin big boss. We're gonna get some spears. We're gonna bring them back in. And we've just got tons of routing units, the goblin archers, these goblin spears, and we're just going to keep bringing them back in as they route off. Here in the back, you'll see that he has routed off some Saurus warriors, and cold blood is actually on them to try to give them some health back. Here in the back, you'll see the Ragnarok Queen is kind of surrounded with black orcs and the warlords boys. There's just a huge line here of troops, and they're going to be fighting against what? Oh man, there's another flock of doom. That is just doing huge damage, and look at this. It is 500 to 150, but it is pretty right down the middle, even with the balance of power there. These orc biggins are about to rout off, and he's got some pretty healthy groups of Saurus warriors. Besides that, I mean, look over here. We're kind of trying to use the rusty arrows to fight a Pharaoh Bastiladon, and he's just got dinosaurs everywhere. It is crazy right now. There is corpses everywhere. I mean, oh, the amount of blood and another one. I think the Flock of Doom is pretty much going to be the end of me. So if we take a look from the top here, we can see that I still have 500 units left, and we're kind of spread out. But we have actually routed off a bunch of these Saurus warriors. You see that group is broken. This group is broken. There's a group over here with shields. It's fighting against a goblin big boss and some goblins, but that's actually a pretty cheap, cheap thing. Hopefully we'll be able to take a few of them down. Here in the back, you'll see that my Night Goblin Shaman is actually fighting against the Skink Priest and the Skink Chief, and that is not a good place to be in. That Night Goblin Shaman is, if you see, his health is rapidly deteriorating, and he is about to be routed off immediately. So I mean, there is not a lot I've got going for me, except for the fact that I do have Kroq-Gar kind of tackled over here. We're doing okay. We've got some spider hatchlings. They're tying them up, and since those don't actually cost anything, that's actually an optimal unit for us to have kind of tying them up. Since we've got all his units kind of spread out, all those big guys spread out, we've got the little ones kind of routed off. You see, he's only got 85 units left. We're actually starting to really, maybe pull this one out. It's still really close in the balance of power, but you see, look at these Pharaoh Bastiladons are actually starting to go rampaging all over the place. So when you don't have control of them, it kind of allows us to kind of spread them out, and everything, all of the Lizardmen units are kind of off fighting on their own. So, I don't have a lot of units left though, but what I do have is this big Ragnarok Queen. And so I've got Stand Your Ground going, I've got Grimgor in here, and what I haven't been showing is that Grimgor has pretty much been fighting against everything big for the entire match. So, as Grimgor progressed, he took down a Bastiladon. I mean, if you look, the Stegadon is low, and Grimgor has just kind of been marching along with this Ragnarok Queen to be able to take individually down each one of these big dinosaur units. There's a broken Bastiladon, but I mean, he's still got 3,000 health. So there's a ton of health spread out across these units. But, we've got some Black Orcs, we've got a full Grimgor, we've actually got the Goblin Big Boss in here providing poison. So with all of these units, I mean, we're actually just, oh man, and there's another Flock of Doom. But I think at this point, the balance of power is in my favor, and we're starting to get back to rusty airs. Hopefully we'll be able to kind of use these big boy units. Look at that, Kroq-Gar is almost taken out. I think he's got 500 health, and while he's broken, he may actually come back. I'm not 100% sure. This is such a close battle. If you look over here, you'll see that the big factor is this Ragnarok Queen. Between that and Grimgor, I mean, everyone that steps up, we're going to go ahead and take him down. We've got Pharaoh Bastiladons all in here. We've got this Ancient Stegadon. We've got a Skin Chief. I mean, but everything. I mean, when you see Grimgor get off against this Skin Chief, he's gonna start taking his health out one chunk at a time. I mean, Grimgor has huge amounts of weapon damage, as does this Ragnarok Queen. So even though we don't have a lot of units remaining, and the ones that we do have are kind of spread out across the entire map here in the main fight where it's really going to town, you'll see that there's just a ton of power left with just my few units that I have. Oh, look at Grimgor getting knocked on his back, man. Oh, look at that. That is crazy. That Feral Stegadon, or Ancient Stegadon, sorry, is just knocking him down. Then the he's just getting knocked all over the place. Oh man, you just can't. Oh, you cannot get a break. In the background there, you see that Feral Battlecast is taking some shots from the Rusty Airs, and the Goblin Big Boss is up against him. So it brings him down to 110 armor. It's still pretty nasty. Here in the most important battle of the match, oh, it's so close still. You'll see that we are still trying to take down those big units. Our Ragnarok Queen is actually pretty dangerously low. We've actually managed to get a debuff. Actually, you know, we've got Grimgor going here. We've got a debuff finally with this. You see, look over there. The Night Goblin Shaman has managed to keep his head up long enough to stay on a little bit longer. We've actually managed to get in there, and we've killed their lord. So we've managed to kill Kroq-Gar. If you look at there's the dead body of Grimlock, and I think that's actually what finally does it. So he's still got the Skink Priest. That little guy, that little bugger is really hard to tie down. He was actually had a good number of charges of Cold-Blooded from both those Skink Priests. And with all those big dinos, I mean, that was a lot of trouble without any dedicated anti-large units. Maybe I should have brought a couple of Boarboy Biggins, and I think they probably would have helped take out those units a little bit faster. Let's go ahead and take a look at this post-game wrap-up. So it was just so much fun playing the Greenskins again, and this I just love all of the combinations we got. It was just a super blast. I mean, there's gonna be so many games and so many combinations to see. I'm just loving watching everyone else's videos as well. So if we look here, 65 kills with that Ragnarok Queen, and she was fighting against these big units. So that Ragnarok Queen was really the thing that saved me there. The goblins were kind of in and out, back and forth, but they didn't really do too much. They were kind of only there for fodder. The big boss stayed and fought. We got some debuffs off of the Night Goblin, but Grimgor, he was the champion. He was in there just putting in heavy work, and he was able to really just cut down a lot of those big units. That's why he didn't have a lot of kills, because I just had him fighting dinosaurs the whole time. He was the Grimgor, the dinosaur hunter. We got 55 kills with the Biggins. We got, you know, a good number of kills with the Black Orcs. What was nice about them is that they always kind of stick around. They've got high leadership. They don't take a lot of fear. You know, they're immune to psychology. So they stick around, and you know, so do the Warlords boys, and they apply that armor sundering effect. So overall, you know, besides this, I mean, we did have a bunch of summoned spiderlings that helped us out. And you know, we were able to get those 323 kills. So it's just you know, crazy over here. Look at that, 164 with those Saurus Warriors. So overall, I mean, that group got more than all these ones combined, but there was just a ton of kills across those Saurus Warriors. I mean, there was goblins and all sorts of goblins to kill. Most of my biggins went down. I mean, I only had 240 units remaining. So that Ancient Stegadon actually got a bunch of kills, so 150 with that. But just like I kind of said, you know, those Feral Battlecast, I don't know if they're as good. Maybe one less group of Saurus Warriors, and he would have been able to upgrade those, and he might have been better off. But overall, it was just a really fun game. Just a fun army to see, kind of something a little different. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed playing it. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. This is Black Iron, and this has been another one of Black Iron's battles.